guys! It's MLD! I'm Achieves! Someone's Jay! Wow!
This is what happens when we don't let Achieves have time to make notes before we start the show. Welcome to MLD. It is primetime Saturday night. It is a Platinum League sandwich, 2 Champion League games making up the buns. Achieves kicking off the top of the hour here. The Aviators and the Comets. Aviators currently cemented into the wildcard spot. Still at the halfway point of the season, though a lot of time to fall from those heights. Whereas the Comets looking to maybe strike one of them as they re-enter the atmosphere from orbit.
Yes. The Comets, a bit of a rough go in the division currently. They're, 4 games out of the wild card, and that's a long way to go when you're sitting here at, what is this, week 7? 6?
Week 7 now, so it's just hitting the halfway point of the season.
Title confusing. Wait, MLD Season 6, Week 7. Never mind, I can read. The title's perfect, Jay. You nailed it.
I do my best. I do my best. But Neo Tokyo, Neo Tokyo, the new Tokyo, the new Neo Tokyo, not the one with the ramps and stuff.
The lame one.
Yeah, the lame one. The one that you and I aren't the biggest fans of. But unfortunately, non-standards making their way out to pasture this season. We get 14 weeks of the greatest standard maps that Psyonix has to offer. It's a late substitution for the Aviators. In place of Captain Pseudo Justin today, the reserve Frostbite will be taking the field alongside Killer Penguin, Midnight, and Primed roster for the Comets. So we'll get the teams in here now. They've been sitting here cooling their jets. Ha-ha! It was an Aviators joke, except the Jets are an actual team, so...
Yeah. I mean, points for the reference still. Just because the Jets are their own team doesn't diminish that pun. So I still appreciate it. Solid 6.8.
6.8? I will take a 6.8.
Yeah. 6.8. Not half bad. But they, like they said in college, Jay, over 60% is still passing.
Hey, we got there.
Oh, Midnight has some nice new Infinium wheels in the default variant. I'm a fan of that. So, let's get this underway. We've got, another set of 5, as always. In Midnight trying to figure out how he would like to do this out of his own half. It's a solid challenge, but there's not a lot of ways to continue this attack. Only no boost now, and that one slides through. He didn't need help to continue it. He just needed someone to finish it.
Yeah, unfortunately, nobody on hand there. Is Midnight taking another quick shot there? Prime just kind of wandering here through the midfield. He's got no boost. You really have to kind of be decisive in going back. Killer Penguin looking for the Tarzan swing. Big save, though, out of Midnight at that top corner.
Second follow through, Frostbite, top bouncer, and they can't reach it. So the Aviators go from under pressure to in the net in a space time of 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, just not a lot of pressure from the Comets. I was talking about that a bit in transition. Prime just no boost, kind of wandering around following the ball. Needs to be a lot more decisive on when he's going to get out on rotation to try and get back, because Midnight was kind of on an island back there.
Well, Frostbite deciding to play the net on the kickoff. Had a pretty good lead upfield to his teammate. Midnight trying to find Prime in the midfield. Here it will come, but directly over to the Aviators. Frostbite. A little short hop dribble shenanigans, but Primed able to stay right with it. Killer Penguin trying to go over the top of the defense, and Midnight out to the side. A little bit of space given in the midfield by the Aviators. Not able to regain control cleanly, as it will be Killer Penguin to clear, and he needs one more tap to get around, and looking for help, and it's not there.
Good ball. I think Primed might just not have quite been in position to make that takeoff. Look for that attack. Another chance out in front. Midnight just flying past that one. The Comets are getting chances here. They're putting the Aviators under pressure defensively. They just can't finish these chances, get those shots on net to try and pull the Aviators a little bit further out of position and get that equalizer on the board.
Oh, that's a good demo at the top of the box from Primed. Frostbite had a pretty good angle on that ball, but you're not wrong about the Comets having plenty of chances. It's just that initial hesitancy you got to get over when you play 2v2, because, I mean, in a 3v3, they've got somebody on all of those balls that are crossing the Aviators' net, and I just think they need a little bit more belief in their ability to go and get one and maybe take a risk. Oh. Penguin, though, has other words. Top of the box, flick over the top. It's 2-0 Aviators.
Yeah, this one breaks down because Midnight just starts driving towards this ball, realizes Primed is still there challenging for it, then has to try and defend backwards. Let's take nothing away, though, from Killer Penguin. That is an amazing flick on the dribble there, but it's made easier by the fact the Comets just were not pressuring that ball effectively.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting thing there. Midnight sort of stopping, and then as soon as he thought perhaps Killer Penguin might have dropped possession of that ball, but I mean, you got to realize you're not going to be able to turn around before he's able to get it started again and just go all the way back to net and get yourself set. But I mean, there's a reason the Aviators have what did you say? They have the best wild card record currently out of any team in the league, so they're looking pretty good.
They're currently just sitting 1 game back of the Ducks for the lead in the Sky Division right now, so a big result here will put them back in the driver's seat. Any misstep by the Ducks, and the Aviators will take over that top spot coming out of Week 7, right at that halfway point of the season.
Midnight over the top, not for free, and it'll be Frostbite to continue. Primed got caught moving really far forward, perhaps misjudging the distance a little bit, and it will cost him. Frostbite goes the length of the field on 2 tips, and that will be Killer Penguin giving his teammate a little prop.
Yeah, Primed, unfortunately, just drifting upfield, gets beat by the first touch there. A little bit slow trying to get around and come back. Midnight tries to get there, but it's a great little touch from Frostbite underneath the bar. 3-0 here, Comets. I feel like they needed to convert one of those early chances right now, because now that the Aviators have kind of settled in, yeah, they had so many opportunities, but the longer this game goes, the more comfortable the Aviators get, the harder it's going to be.
Well, I do like they're challenging out of the midfield. That's a big miss, and again, they have to convert this one, and it does not go to the right side of the net. Frostbite diving out from the top of his own box, and the Aviators scrape by again, so what is that, 4 chances, Jay? That sounds right.
Yeah, it just took too long to attack that one coming in, to be honest. Almost like they expected that to be cleared, started driving back, and then realized the ball was floating there in front of the net. Just have to be a little bit more decisive on that one. Either bail out of the chance and give up the possession, or just commit fully to it.
Well, they've got a chance here one more time. They're over on the green side. That's a great bounce. Midnight's got a decent read. Frostbite's beat to the ball. He's going to need a little help from Primed, though, and he'll unfortunately take it away. Not sure if Primed would have been able to get all the way around that ball, but still, there's decent pressure. It's just that final finishing blow is now Frostbite into the corner. Slow roller, nobody home, and Midnight from the side able to just make a save, but weak clear will give the Aviators a second chance. Midnight able to recover. Some quick pressure being put on by the Aviators to delay the push onto the green side, and in fact, it will be the green team with the ball. And of course, immediately as I say that, right back to the Comets. Casual change of possession, and they get tied up in the net. Midnight is totally uncontested. It's a free one into the top of the net.
Yeah, Killer Penguin coming back on this one. He was trying to challenge Midnight for the ball, looking for the demo. The problem is, puts him right in the path that Frostbite would have needed to travel on to come out. I think he actually got bumped, too, by Killer Penguin coming in, so a little bit of a miscommunication between the Aviators gives the Comets a goal. I don't think it comes with enough time left for the Comets to get back into this one, though.
They need a possession right here. It does go right over Killer Penguin. Midnight needs to win another one. He can't get that, though. Now it's just clock management, but they hand one to Prime. Frostbite has to make a stop, and more importantly, got that clear out into the corner. Buy themselves even extra time. Midnight wants his own version of what Killer Penguin did earlier, just missed the corner. Final 15 seconds not being kind to the Comets. For the final 30 seconds, I should say, and here's the final 10. Prime misses that one. Frostbite's got to float across, and Midnight trying to keep it up, but it's not going to matter. They could have done it. I mean, the Comets really put on some solid pressure here in the final seconds, but at the end of the day, there's really a bit of weak conversion in the early game and just not enough time in the later half, I feel.
He touched right on that, the early game conversion rate for the Comets. They actually outshoot the Aviators by a shot total of 7-4. 4 saves out of Frostbite, and you just get that sense that all of that pressure early on that wasn't converted into a goal just gave the Aviators time to settle in and really start to buckle down, find what they needed to do to win, which was a couple of really good plays out of Killer Penguin and some good finishing as well out of Frostbite, having to come in at a very late time to sub in for this one.
Killer Penguin in the chat's like, game 1 jitters. It's like, what? What do you mean, game 1 jitters? Did you see that dribble shot you made? Get out of here. Get back in the lobby. Play the next one. Come on.
I always love players that have the stream on while they're playing, because now it gives me more incentive to completely dump on them and make them mad.
This is Jay building up your mental fortitude, players. Don't take it to heart. Just learn from it. That's a great pass across, but Midnight's too far out. Second chance. Frostbite slow to react. Thankfully, the shot from Midnight aimed right back at him. Weak pinch, and Prime should put this one away. Comets finally get one on the board, and this time inside of 20 seconds.
Yeah, really solid pressure here from Prime Frostbite, you see him just kind of hesitate on the decision, knew he was beat to that ball, could not cut down the backboard there, and Prime just chasing his own ball. Really good solo effort to get that lead.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good combined effort. Good solo effort to get the one in, but the Comets' combined pressure was pretty decent overall. Again, gonna force the Aviators to try and play some solid defenses. They've got another one. Killer Penguin quickly realizing he needed to challenge that ball, and that's a slow challenge, but Prime, though, great positioning. I was a little bit worried for a second, but he played it pretty well out of his own corner.
He was also backwards, too, and against Killer Penguin, who had that one goal in that first game, was just incredible poise and you know, composure on that one. Great placement in transition here. So the demo on Killer Penguin kind of sets this up. Frostbite loses control of the ball here at midfield. 3 seconds to respawn. Comes in from the right side. Midnight recognizes that and puts it behind Killer Penguin. Great shot placement on that one because all of that momentum has to stop on a dime and hope you're in the right place to try and save it.
And it's such a tough play to make on defense because you know you're going to spawn right as the shot's coming. You're trying to pick a spot. Midnight tries to go one more time into the same spot, and Frostbite's able to get there this time around, but that spawn defense so tough to pull off. Prime should be in control of this ball. Wanted the boost a little bit more than clean possession. I feel like he could have got both, but perhaps just a little bit rushed on his way back. Either way, the Comets, another free ball. The Aviators given a lot of space, and they're really asking for... Oh, what a shot. All right, never mind. I take it all back. The Aviators, you're fine. Nice shot.
Yeah, Killer Penguin just baits in the challenge from Prime. No contact on that ball. You have to come in and make sure you touch that ball there. He goes right around to trying to read the play, not the ball. And Killer Penguin with a couple of touches right in the base there. Almost like Prime's goal back the other way to open the scoring.
All right, now I said I take it back, but I actually don't. I just wanted to let you have your moment because that was a very well done solo play, but still. I feel like the Aviators are giving a lot of space in the midfield because the Comets are able to pretty much come up onto their own half uncontested. Like right now, Midnight's got a dribble, and just now Killer Penguin says, hang on, I have to go get him. And now if it gets by him, it's this big 1-on-2. Can't reach it. Back wall primed is free, and that'll be 3-1.
Yeah, that is kind of case in point for what you were talking about. With the ball in his own corner, Midnight just has so much time to bait in the challenge there. He's a little unlucky to put that first shot off the crossbar because Frostbite also gave him a ton of room to shoot that out of the corner. Prime on the rebound, restoring that 2-goal lead. Good pressure moving upfield on the relay from the Comets.
Huge pinch off the kickoff. Killer Penguin tries to go and get it. Primed. Well aware of the danger, but a huge miss. It's going to be a scamper all the way back. Does he have the time? He will not. Primed lazily into the middle of the net. 4-1. Game 2. Running away from the Aviators right now.
This is the exact response we wanted out of the Comets, though. We saw it in the first couple of minutes of Game 1. They had the ability to generate offense. They had the ability to find, you know, the goals that they needed to, and just were somehow not coming off for them. Now that they're capitalizing on the Aviators' mistakes, and they're just apparent lack of pressure on the ball when they don't have it, they're really starting to run away with it.
Great save from Midnight off a solid pass attempt from the Aviators. But here's another one, 1-on-2 coming back the other way. Prime sluggish pushing up the field. It will give the Aviators a little time, and a hard pinch across will give a chance for the green squad to clear. Midnight trying to make a challenge happen, but Prime missing control as well. Actually, I think that helps the Comets more than hurts because, I mean, either way, the Comets need time to recover. And Frostbite, I think he really should have challenged that ball, but they get away with it all the same, and it should be free back the other way. A big challenge in the midfield line, and suddenly it's 2-4.
Yeah, unfortunately, both Comets missed this ball here in the midfield. Midnight actually getting dunked on the challenge by Frostbite, but that one was really Prime's ball. Just kind of lunged at that, didn't make contact, forced Midnight to have to come out and challenge a little bit earlier than I think he would have been really set for. And, you know, full credit to the Aviators. It was going in regardless. Frostbite chasing that one down. Still down by 2.
Ooh, big miss from Midnight. Doesn't matter. Can the Aviators hang on to this ball? Prime to delay. They've both on the same spot. They're not going to have any continuation. Some poor communication from the Aviators will have a net loss effect as it gets pushed back into the green side, and again, they'll have to try and bring it out. Soft pass and a great tip. Killer Penguin in the 1-on-1. Tries to go under him. They've seen it one too many times, though. He's tried that move a few times now.
Yeah, just hit the ball. If Killer Penguin's got these really good little fakes coming out. Oh, the back pass off the backboard. Prime was pre-jumping that.
And it cost him.
And it cost him. That's the play in twos that you really have to be careful for. If you see your teammate up that backboard, if he's going to go for that touch, you can't pre-jump that one unless you're 100% sure where he's going to put that ball. Too much power goes right over top, and Killer Penguin just follows that one out and brings them within one.
So the Aviators looking shaky at the start of game number 2. The Comets, I mean, credit where it's due. They fixed a lot of problems that they had in game number 1, that poor conversion rate, but perhaps, you know, pulling the old Emperor Palpatine defense, overconfidence is your weakness, as the Aviators storming back here. Prime to clear, it's going to be right to him. High pass, tough ball for the Comets to go and get. An unfortunate read, but a second chance here for Frostbite. He needs 2 to get it, and they just can't get the placement. The Aviators had, that was free goal written all over it. It was just execution.
Well, back the other way, too. The Comets so starved of boost in their own end for so long that when they got the opportunity back the other way to convert it on the run back, this is just lazy offense from both teams right now, as nobody can finish off the chances they're being gifted by either side.
It's these big double commits from the Comets, and then the put the ball in the net mode for the Aviators in this final minute or so. And the Comets are very lucky to have this 1-goal lead still. But either way, they played a sound early part of game number 2. And I think they've realized that let's just hang out, not make any huge mistakes, just tap that into the corner. Double commit for it again, though. They really got to figure that out. It's Midnight's in a real awkward spot, and again, a missed shot from Killer Penguin. Midnight was stuck in his net, like on the lip. Like, he did not have hardly any mobility, and the Aviators just can't get anything out of it.
Speaking of hardly any mobility, again, Prime caught at the midfield line with no boost as that ball was going back towards his side. And it's been a bit of a recurring trend. Now, this game, it didn't really hurt them as much, but I've been noticing that further and further as things go. In games 1 and 2, really, Prime just finding himself on so many times where he's beaten for a ball and then struggling to find boost and recover.
I don't know if I've paid too much attention to Prime. I'll definitely check that for game number 3, but either way, I mean, what looked like it was going to be a runaway game for the Comets turned out to be a much closer affair than I'm sure either team would have liked. So, game 3, pivot point in the series for these guys. Prime perhaps some positional errors to try and sort out, as he should let Midnight have this. It will be Midnight's ball, and Prime is demoed on the other side of the pitch, but thankfully, it all works out in the end. Midnight goes the distance.
Yeah, this one really just comes down to Killer Penguin committing for that demo, but what that gives up is with that pass coming straight out in front, Midnight's got a free line right upfield through downtown. You have to be really careful on that aggressive demo in the corner. It was essentially a double commit at that point.
The Aviators again. Perhaps, oh, big commit from Primed. He was beat to that ball. Thankfully, Frostbite came up empty. Midnight was still on the other end of the pitch. Now he's got another chance. He's got no boost, though. Midnight's trying to do it himself, and a great save. Prime really needs to grab some boost right now. It's just, I see what you're talking about now, because he should have grabbed that midfield boost maybe 3 or 4 seconds ago.
Exactly. It's just this one little trend that he just finds himself out of position and struggling to either find boost or figure out where he needs to be with no boost. And I just don't quite think he's got that balance down in where he's positioning himself to play as his boost fills and empties through the course of a game.
Midnight, not to himself back wall. That's a great bump, though, from Frostbite on Prime to the top of the green box. Leaves Killer Penguin in a one-on-one hard pass off the back wall. He almost went and got it himself, but Prime skims it off the roof and throws it into the corner. The Comets will survive, but Aviators threatening, and a solid clear from Midnight. Unfortunately, a big miss in the midfield, though. It's going to be coming right back to the orange half. Ceiling and not in. Prime comes up empty. Killer Penguin in a race, and Midnight wins it out. It's going to go all the way to the green corner, and the Aviators are going to run back. And thankfully, the Comets in need of some boost as well. A little bit tardy on the challenge in the midfield, but here comes the pressure. Killer Penguin again. Solo plays off the side wall. Just beats out Midnight. Prime went all the way to the opposition side for boost in that corner, and they give this one up.
Yeah, Midnight has the right idea there, just can't get the line right in time. Killer Penguin with control up there just has to beat the one defender. That's the danger again, where you're positioning. Prime so hungry for boost, finding himself so far upfield, there's just no safety net for losing that challenge in the corner.
That's equal parts Midnight, though. Midnight needs to come off that wall. Like he's got to realize that he can't challenge this ball and afford to miss. And it's just balancing the risk versus a reward factor, I think, for the Comets. I think it comes down to both how they're positioning it themselves when one player does something really aggressive.
Yeah, they're kind of just playing a little bit individually between themselves right now. They're not quite in sync as a unit. And in 2v2, that's a really dangerous prospect because it leads to double commits, it leads to positioning mistakes where you're just trying to do a little bit too much while your teammate's also trying to do a lot. But, man, that shot by Killer Penguin. Great accuracy here. As, again, the Comets Midnight backwards here, but Prime just not in a position to challenge.
Yeah, because Midnight was really hoping that midfield boost was going to spawn so he could turn around and cut it, and then the challenge timing just wasn't quite there for the Comets. There was a lot of distance to try and cover because, you know, Prime just kind of in that if you're done if you do or if you don't. And because if he leaves it, then Killer Penguin just gets free real estate, and if he goes for it, then he gets exactly the result that just happened. So well played from Killer Penguin, capitalizing on a really good position for himself, and Midnight just unfortunate that no boost on top of him, able to do anything about it.
Yeah, you gotta feel, though, that despite not finding the boost where he wanted it, could have done a little bit better to put himself in a position where he could have at least challenged the ball or put pressure on there, rather than let Killer Penguin get the full control for that shot that he wanted.
Double commit off the back wall. Frostbite shot goes wide, running back the other way. Midnight dodges a demo, and it's going to be a free goal. All right, the Comets tie it back up.
I'm really surprised that this challenge from Killer Penguin missed entirely, as he goes for the demo or he just kind of goes right between the ball and the demo, and that's one that you gotta wonder if you probably should have just tried to play the net rather than challenge the ball directly.
He won Red Rover, man. Broke right through him. Easy peasy.
Broke right through.
That's a nice tap over the top of Midnight. Picked up the midfield boost on the way, and he beats Prime to the net. Killer Penguin doing it all himself.
Yeah, right now, just an offensive powerhouse, but honestly, that one just caught Midnight really far out. Prime did everything he could together. Even on my screen there, looked like he touched it, but the animation flying through, the game said, no, you did not hit that. Feels bad, man, because other than that, did almost everything right.
So close. Very tough save to make. Hard pass off the back wall. The Aviators kind of bringing the heat on all of these kickoffs, and a weak clear from Prime will give him another chance, perhaps. It'll be Midnight in charge, takes a nasty hop, and he can't read it, and it will go the other way. The Aviators up by 2 now.
This is just a guilty instance of drifting too close to a ball before you really understand what the bounce is. If you're coming across to that, be aggressive, go up the inside of your backboard and play it as it bounces there. Otherwise, you have to wait back to understand how it bounces out of the corner before you commit that far in.
You know, it's the Neo Tokyo bounces, man. That was the worst part about this map, Kappa. Corner bounces. As here comes Midnight. Almost through one. He needs a little bit of help, but Killer Penguin out into space. Primed quickly closing it. Nice high pop. Doesn't have any boost to go and get this. Just a crazy aggro play. Perhaps you're not fully aware of what you've got available to you. Midnight wants it himself, and it'll be Prime to follow up. Back post, and it'll be off the mark. The lead will stay at 2 for the Aviators. Frostbite looking for a pass, and nobody home. Killer Penguin kind of loitering around the midfield line. Perhaps fully aware that all they got to do is play the clock. And another little fake from Killer Penguin. He wants a pass. Never mind. He does it all himself, but he doesn't get the final angle. I swore he was looking for that pass out of the top of the box. Frostbite was sitting there waiting for it.
Yeah, but critically, though, he got both Comets to start chasing that ball around, spending a lot of boost to get there, and now they're trying to defend. Frostbite isn't committing on this at all. He's letting Killer Penguin just play keep away in front of the Comets net right now and burn this clock down with the 2-goal lead.
And they steal another one away. Killer Penguin wants it himself and actually calls off his teammate, and they had perhaps what should have been a really big goal for them and just put the game 3 away, but either way, they've wasted enough time on the clock. The Comets pretty much done here in game 3. And you can pretty much hang your hat over on Killer Penguin, because my goodness, 6 shots, 4 goals, 0 assists from Frostbite.
Yeah, Killer Penguin MVP of Game 3 as he took the entirety of the responsibility.
Literally everything.
Literally everything on that one for himself. But a great display of individual skill from a player that we've seen quite a bit out of in the last couple of weeks. His debut week 4 on Farmstead was one to remember, with him and Puff the Dargon coming in and really trying to grab that Aviators franchise up from its bootstraps and putting them from a really tough start all the way up into the lead in the wildcard race.
Now, to be fair, we credit Killer Penguin as a nice save is made by Midnight, but there's equal parts credit due to Frostbite. I mean, it takes two people to be able to let somebody play that aggressively and be that successful, and know they can do that. As now Frostbite steals it away from Midnight. This should be Killer Penguin's ball. It went real hard for it. Midnight's going to try and go the length of the pitch, but in short, Frostbite, excellent support player in that Game 3. He said, you know what? You look like you've got it all under control. You do you, and I'll just hang back here where you need me.
Exactly. Just being an effective safety valve for that hyper-aggressive carry kind of play is really important, especially when you do it well, like Frostbite did in that third game.
That's really what you feel like the Comets are probably striving for. They kind of want some sort of similar dynamic. Problem is they both kind of want to do it. As that's a good high pass off the back wall and just under the nose of Primed, aiming for that right side. As Killer Penguin takes it out to space, he's felt comfortable all day long dribbling all over these Comets players. Not able to get the landing short hop pop, as this one right back out to Frostbite. 50s with Midnight, and it'll just stall right there. He hands it off, and unfortunately, a little bit of miscomm delays this clear out of this orange corner, and it will be challenged.
And not sure what the plan was, especially now that Prime comes in as well, really awkwardly to try and play that. Just out of sync again. It's like what we saw in Game 1, where the Comets just not quite on the same page as one another and playing just a little bit too individually to try and make something work. Although,
all right, fine. You did it again, Killer Penguin. You win. We get it. We get it.
The first shot's a really good shot. There's a bigger save from Prime, but Killer Penguin on the follow-through just says, I'll take that. Thank you very much.
It's like, you got to clear it better than that. No, it wasn't planned, but hey, I'm still there. That's funny stuff. So the Aviators take a lead in game number 4. They're going to put the series away. They've got to hold on for 3.5 more minutes. And this one, Killer Penguin does it himself. That was a really aggressive challenge angle from the Comets.
The thing that broke down here is Midnight just starts following this ball into the corner, but he doesn't really look like he's going to challenge it. Kind of going up the boards expecting something different. You have to just go to that ball. You can't do something and pre-move before your opponent takes control of that ball. You have to go and aggressively challenge that.
So again, passive approach to the kickoff for the Aviators, one in the net, and Killer Penguin gets a nice lead off the back wall, and Midnight. Good clear, but the Comets still need to get the offense rolling here in Game 4 if they want to have a chance to take the series. Frostbite around the side, Midnight giving a little bit of ground. Here comes Prime again, a double commit. They really got to figure that out. Now we'll go back the opposite way. Midnight trying to delay, Prime trying to rush back, and he's got no boost in the tank again. Thankfully, the Aviators missed a steal in the corner. They'll have a chance to clear the ball. Hard off the corner, right in front of the net. Frostbite misses it. Killer Penguin uncontested. Currently, as here comes Midnight. Primed once more to the green side. Frostbite grabbing boost in that corner, leaving the net a little bit undefended. Bit of a scramble for both teams, and again, Comets expecting a clear from the Aviators, and they just come up empty, and they're just not able to capitalize. I really like the approach the Comets have. It's just unfortunate that it's worked out that way so many times.
They're just not recognizing when they can step up that offense, kick that into that second gear to try and chase down a ball that comes through like that. Just the little things that are adding up where they just don't recycle possession into more pressure, and it's going to burn them when they can't generate offense like that.
Well, I mean, they're just expecting clears, and they're just not getting them. It's Prime going for a pass, and that is going just right over the head of Midnight. Again, another lost opportunity, but they steal this one away, and Killer Penguin to delay. Off the nose, and Prime need to buying a little bit of time for Midnight. Here he comes into the corner. He doesn't have time to grab boost. This is going to be an awkward play. It's right to Frostbite, lofts it high, no way to stop it, and thankfully off the mark. Midnight not able to get that delayed challenge through the defender. And the Comets still looking for something. over the top. Midnight had the net. Couldn't quite get that angle all the way on it. Here comes Killer Penguin. He wanted that boost. And it will cost him the ball. Frostbite with some help, though. Really aggressive challenge. Like it from Midnight. Out in front of the net. This one needs to go in. Here comes Primed. Out towards the top is Midnight right there to follow it up to the left side. And he gets it into the corner. Tough break. Again, the Comets can't convert. That is a rocket into the top left. There they go. It took them a couple extra seconds. But they've got 46 to do a tie-up.
Yeah, look how far back Midnight had to come in from midfield to pressure that ball. He does it really well, sweeps it into the corner, sets up a great second touch that he just puts with a seeing eye shot into the upper 90 far side, but they still need one more, and you start counting all the other chances they've had that they've let slip by the wayside, and you gotta wonder if that's gonna be what sets this game apart for the two teams.
Make it the series. Same thing happened in game 1. Primed, really aggressive from Midnight. It's gonna be a long drive back. Neither of them have any boost, and that will indeed go the opposite direction. You can't keep doing it, Comets.
Making achieves bang the desk, guys. It's just one of those things. One of you has to call the other one off, and it really should be the one up front. If he's going to go for that second play, you have to just call your teammate off. Make sure that there's still a safety valve in the back, because when they both commit, it's so difficult to recover because that's the entirety of your team's roster resources on field.
The most unfortunate part is you both commit and neither of you touch the ball either. It just keeps getting worse. That's a good bounce into the middle. Frostbite comes up empty. Primed, it's a stretch, and he will fit it into the right side. He's giving him a chance, but slim one at that.
Again, look how much distance you come to try and get to that ball. And those are the times, again, you just have to recognize when you need to get further upfield quicker. And Prime got there, give him credit, but man, you wonder how many fewer seconds would have ticked off that clock had he been just a little bit closer ahead of time.
Well, here's the final three over the top of the box. Prime does reach it. Close to on target, and Frostbite, no problem. He's not letting anything go. So the Aviators secure the series in Game 4. Comets almost picked him apart in Game 3, and the Aviators brought it all the way back. So overall, it's just been a more cohesive series from the Aviators. The Comets have had shows of really good ability. It's just been problems with communication. That's honestly all it is. It's not like the mechanics have been off. Perhaps a little bit lax on the pressure a few times, but overall, it's a communication error for the Comets tonight.
Yeah, communication and honestly just execution as well. They've had a number of opportunities where they just aren't hitting the ball and getting themselves into so much trouble without boost and with their positioning. But you know, full credit to them. They've been playing well. They've got that one game win in the bag. Maybe look for one more, try and cut that deficit down to the rest of the teams in their division. Still half the season left after this week.
Jay, what is Rocket League's #1 rule?
Hit the ball.
Hit the ball. You hear him, Comets? Hit the ball. So here's Game 5. And it will be Killer Penguin, who has just been dancing around this Comets defense all night long. Frostbite trying to muscle one through, and Prime just going to bomb it away. Killer Penguin trying to go grab the boost, and it will almost cost him a goal. Midnight just not able to get all the way upfield in time. Some dangerous stuff here from the green team. And nice clear. Midnight's going to need a little bit of time to recover. And it is launched downfield towards the orange corner. Huge miss. Free ball for Frostbite. And double commit. They take it away from each other. And the Comets dodge a bullet.
And unfortunately, they can't turn this upfield because Midnight, having come back from that offensive play where he's went up the backboard, was never really going to win that ball, but he spent every amount of boost in his tank to go for that ball, and then got starved the entire rotation back by the Aviators going upfield.
Nice tip from Midnight there to get it up. Awkward angle, though, from Prime. Just too close, perhaps ready to challenge in the midfield. Frostbite, free ball from Midnight. I thought for a second he might have put it in his own corner. Either way, Comets avoid disaster here. 3.5 minutes to go. Frostbite taking his time, like that. Well aware of what's out in front of him and what he can get away with. And it will let Killer Penguin clear the ball off of a missed tip from Midnight. Prime just makes it back in time. And the Comets not going down without a fight here in Game 5.
The skin of their teeth, though, on that one. Midnight coming back, trying to tip that ball somewhere so that he and his teammate can recover. But sometimes you have to just let that ball go into your corner as Killer Penguin just misses that bottom corner on a great long aerial. But you just have to know when to let that ball by you and reset the rotation without trying to buy yourselves time.
Not a good touch from Prime. Frostbite, not the best shot either way. Killer Penguin will make sure it gets all the way home. And one misstep finally breaks the Comets down.
Yeah, unfortunately, Prime doesn't put that anywhere productive for himself. It was awkward. It was coming in from such a weird angle for him that he had to kind of lean back, try and bring that one down. Just, again, positioning. They're not in a spot to defend really effectively from.
Well, the Comets still have plenty of time here in Game 5. That's a nice touch from Killer Penguin, but unfortunately, the ground already given by Frostbite. Midnight swipes away the corner boost, and a huge win from Killer Penguin in the midfield will buy tons of time. That's a solid pass. There's Frostbite, and just able to get the nose on it. Was Midnight. And now it's primed out of the corner. Pass to Midnight. Has Midnight had time to really do much? He didn't even really look like he had a lot of time to grab boost, and now they're just going to give up this ball because they don't have another option. You saw them both cut out for that midfield right side boost. And now it just means they don't have a good way to continue the attack.
Exactly, and that's a lot of their rotation right now. They're kind of crossing paths with one another, making it so difficult to get a consistent line of play. And then Midnight, again, just kind of flipping at this ball. It leaves such an opening for the Aviators to bring this out, because once you flip at that ball, if it doesn't go anywhere, there's nothing else you can do with it.
Bit of a pool shot pass from Frostbite. Midnight to delay. Prime now set in the net. And Killer Penguin, can he do it again? The first one, too, it's going to be primed, though. Big miss from both players. Midnight going to try and cover the distance. Killer Penguin hesitated and gives a little bit of ground, and doesn't matter. You got to wonder, Comets still only down by 1 goal. I'm surprised to see him back off of a challenge like that right at the end, because now this assault just continues. It will break, though. Midnight had a little bit of a time trying to find some boost somewhere. He wasn't able to get it back either way. After the rotation, the Comets still in possession here. Aviators, it's a little weird. They're trying to take their time with this. You got to wonder if it's too much, though.
I think they're just trying to get the Comets to overcommit on something and then look for that dagger. The rotations for the Comets, they've settled down a little bit, but whenever they hit that ball and they get upfield again, look at that. Prime has to cut away for boost, gives up possession to Killer Penguin, who just gets one really good touch right around him in that offensive corner.
Midnight jumped after Frostbite, perhaps not even realizing he was beat. Now he's got to buy time for Prime to respawn. And he spawned in the same corner where Midnight just took the boost. Ugh. Blow after blow for the Comets. A weak shot should be capitalized. Killer Penguin slaps one down to the other side of the pitch, and it will slowly roll into the right side, and that is going to lock down Game 5. The Aviators going to take the series 4-1.
Prime, I just think, on his way upfield, didn't grab enough of the pennies. Could have front flipped to Supersonic, hit those boost pads on the way up, get that tank a lot higher than that 34 starting boost there, and then go for that aerial. By the time he hit the ball, he'd run out of momentum because his boost had emptied out as he tried to get upfield to close that distance down.
Well, perhaps one for spite here, and even that goes awry. Midnight not able to cut it out sideways, and Killer Penguin gonna look to put the dagger in him as he's done all night long. Back wall, Frostbite, pass across, and Killer Penguin gives it up. They don't care. They've won the series, and that is going to do it. The Aviators, I mean, that was a pretty well-played game. Well-played series overall. Primed to Midnight throughout the GGs. It's we touched on it at the end of game number 4. It's communication and some boost management, and, you know, Comets, you'll be fine.
Exactly. It's just a bunch of little things, but a lot of them happen to be fundamentals of Rocket League. And
yes,
when
not fundamentals of Rocket League, fundamentals of 2v2.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But just fundamentals in general for this format that aren't being executed to the best of their ability. And when you're not getting those, it's a struggle. It's an uphill struggle to try and win games. And that was kind of the story that whole series, is the Comets were on an uphill struggle to get the offense going, to keep the ball in the Aviators' end to generate offense. And it just... And
you saw it... After you?
No, I was just going to say, like, it just added up in the end, and they go down 4-1 in the series.
Yeah, added up in the end is right. Even in that game, too, that they won, the Comets started blowing them out 4-1, and then out of nowhere, just got a little bit in over their heads a few too many times, and even that game, the Aviators almost brought all the way back. But enough about that series. Good stuff from the Aviators. Congratulations. Jay, what's on the menu next?
On the menu next, we'll be showing the Platinum League action on the middle of our docket here. The Spartans make their way onto the stream for the first time this season against the Dodgers in the Volcanic Division. We'll see what they've got on tap. If you've loved any of the plays that you've seen, though, from that last series, and there were a couple of doozies, all of them credited to Killer Penguin, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got them clipped. Tweet them to us at MLDoubles with the hashtag MLDPOTW to submit them for the MLD Play of the Week, presented by Balls Guarana Energy Soda. Get free shipping on your next order at checkout. Code MLD at ballsbawls.com. And a huge shout out to our friends at Arctic Cooling. Keep your PC cool in all gaming situations. Visit them at arctic.ac. When we come back with the middle game, it's the Platinum Spartans and the Platinum Dodgers. You're watching MLD Primetime Saturday night here on twitch.tv.